Well, hello there. Let me tell you a little story that I suspect is going to sound all too familiar to a lot of you. Every single year, gardeners across the UK and the US do the exact same thing. You know how it goes. You head out to the garden center in early summer and you buy this absolutely magnificent hydrangea in full bloom. You take it home, you plant it with care, you water it, feed it, and watch over it all through the autumn. Then you wait through the winter with genuine anticipation, and spring arrives. But nothing happens. No flowers, sometimes barely any growth at all, just this big green disappointment standing exactly where your magnificent flowering shrub was supposed to be. Now this happens so consistently that most people just quietly assume hydrangeas are kinda unpredictable, unreliable plants. But I want to plant a little seed of curiosity for you right now, because that assumption is completely wrong. It's actually the variety, not the plant, that fails. You see, there is an entire category of hydrangeas out there that will bloom for you every single year, regardless of the winter conditions, because they flower on brand new growth. In fact, the ninth and final hydrangea on our list today is the one that experienced growers consider literally the single most foolproof flowering shrub available anywhere. It's consistently overlooked just because it doesn't look like a traditional hydrangea at the garden center. We're definitely going to get to that one, but first, let's unpack why things have been going wrong.
Before we dive in, I really want to warmly reassure you about something. Keep this thought firmly in mind. Past blooming failures in your garden were never your fault. Seriously, you didn't do anything wrong. The truth is, the vast majority of hydrangeas sold in standard garden centers belong to varieties that are just fundamentally unsuitable for reliable flowering in your climate. The plant isn't broken. You were just sold a variety that frankly couldn't handle your winter.
So, the heartbreak usually comes down to one simple difference. Most standard hydrangeas you buy flower on what we call old wood, which basically just means the stems that grew last year. If a harsh winter or a late spring frost hits that old wood, well, those delicate, sleeping flower buds are completely destroyed before they ever get a chance to open. You watch the old stems die back, and the plant spends the whole year just trying to recover its leaves, with zero energy left for blooms. But the 9 hydrangeas we're looking at today are completely different. They flower on new wood. Those are fresh stems produced entirely from scratch each spring. Because they flower on fresh growth, winter damage to old wood becomes incredibly irrelevant. It's like an impenetrable insurance policy. Whatever the winter throws at them, they just start fresh. Let's look at our first reliable bloomer.
Our first hydrangea is the magnificent Annabelle. If you've ever been heartbroken by a hydrangea that failed to flower, Annabelle is the trusted friend that's going to restore your faith completely. She flowers on entirely new wood, so every spring she produces fresh stems right from ground level, and every single one of those stems is guaranteed to develop a beautiful bud. The flowers themselves are truly extraordinary. We're talking massive spherical mophead blooms reaching 20 to 30 centimeters across. They start out this lovely lime green in early summer, open up to pure, brilliant white, and finally age to a cool, papery green as the autumn rolls in. Now, what makes Annabelle so wonderful to grow is her remarkable versatility. She thrives beautifully in partial shade, really lighting up those darker corners of the garden where other blooming shrubs might struggle to perform. And here is a delightful little surprise for you. Unlike those old varieties, she actually loves a harsh late winter pruning. Cutting her back hard doesn't cause damage at all. It actually forces her to respond with immense vigor and sturdy stems capable of holding up those absolute giant flowers. I promise you, plant Annabelle in that tricky, partially shaded spot, and she will never ever let you down.
Now think about the number -30 for a second. -30 degrees Celsius. That staggering cold hardiness brings us to our second hydrangea, limelight. Now limelight belongs to the paniculata group. If that term is a bit new to you, it simply means it produces large, elegant, cone-shaped flower heads rather than the round mop heads you might be used to seeing. Limelight is a genuine garden superstar. Its massive, upright flower panicles shift from a striking lime green in midsummer to a soft, dusky pink as the late summer nights start to cool down. It absolutely loves a spot in full sun, but handles partial shade just fine, and it thrives on a good, simple late winter prune to keep its strong, upright shape. But the genuinely surprising fact here is its extreme cold hardiness. Even if an absolute bitter freeze of -30 degrees completely kills the entire plant above ground, limelight is just going to shrug it off. It'll regrow perfectly from its root system in the spring and still flower beautifully that exact same summer like literally nothing happened. It is completely foolproof, and it's going to give you a breathtaking, reliable display year after year.
Just a really quick reminder, my friends. As wonderful and reliable as Annabelle and limelight are, the single most foolproof shrub that experienced growers absolutely swear by is still waiting for us at number 9.
All right, let's move to our third hydrangea, Endless Summer. This plant represents a genuine breeding breakthrough that completely changed the game for cold climate gardeners everywhere. For years, people in colder regions loved that classic traditional blue or pink round mophead look, but they were so tired of the constant heartbreak when a late winter frost destroyed the delicate buds. Well, Endless Summer was specifically bred to solve exactly that problem. It's what we call a reblooming mophead, meaning it flowers on both old and new wood. If the frost gets the old wood, it simply doesn't matter anymore. It has a built-in backup plan. It'll just produce a second, magnificent flush of gorgeous flowers on its brand new spring growth just a little bit later in the season. For the best results, it prefers morning sun and dappled afternoon shade, along with a nice thick layer of mulch to keep its roots cool during the heat of summer. Endless Summer finally brings that classic blue and pink magic back to your garden safely, giving you an absolute guarantee of beautiful summer color no matter how tough the winter was. Hydrangea number 4 is Pink Diamond. Now this one brings that incredible cold-hardy reliability together with a truly stunning, ever-changing seasonal display. Just picture the timeline of its transformation. It opens up as a soft, creamy white in midsummer, slowly deepens into a delicate, soft pink, and finishes with a rich, deep rose color in early autumn. It's a gorgeous, tall, elegant, upright shrub that loves plenty of sunshine to really bring out those rich autumn colors. And like all paniculatas, it responds beautifully to a simple late winter prune to encourage strong new stems. But the delightful little secret about Pink Diamond is that on its massive 40-centimeter panicles, you're often going to see all 3 of these color stages simultaneously on the exact same plant. The new flowers emerge white, while the older ones are turning pink and red. It's a multi-tonal masterpiece that literally changes week by week, providing incredible visual interest. Pink Diamond is a plant that works tirelessly to bring dynamic, shifting beauty to your landscape, and you can definitely trust that it'll faithfully deliver that magic every single year.
So, we are officially halfway through our list now, and I just want to warmly remind you to keep watching, because the most reliable, best-kept secret hydrangea on the planet is still waiting for us right at the end.
Number 5 is Tardiva. The name itself means late, and that tells you exactly why it's so exceptionally reliable. Tardiva flowers much later than almost any other hydrangea, typically starting in late August and blooming right through October. By flowering so incredibly late on new wood, it bypasses spring frost risks entirely. The plant has already done all its growing and established its foliage well before the thought of flowering even begins. It requires very little fuss, thriving in full sun to partial shade, and makes a completely incredible anchor for your autumn garden design. It beautifully bridges the gap when summer flowers fade and autumn foliage takes over. It produces these wonderful, elegant, lacy white blooms that eventually age to a gentle pinkish purple. It provides this incredibly beautiful, delicate display just as the autumn leaves are beginning to turn, gracefully reassuring you that your garden's beauty certainly doesn't have to end just because summer does. It really is a late-season treasure you can completely rely on.
And as a really perfect complementary pair to Tardiva, Hydrangea number 6 is Quickfire. As the name heavily suggests, this one does the exact opposite. It blooms wonderfully early. Quickfire begins flowering 4 to 6 weeks earlier than standard varieties, making it a truly fantastic choice for expanding your garden's blooming season. It thrives brilliantly in the sun and requires just a light prune in early spring to maintain its shape. The visual contrast it provides is simply wonderful, opening a pure, fresh white and aging quite rapidly to a rich, stunning rosy red. The genuinely surprising thing is that by late summer, a mature Quickfire displays these pristine, fresh white, newly opened flowers and the aged ruby red flowers right next to each other on the very same compact plant. It's a striking, two-tone effect that looks like you have 2 completely different shrubs planted in the exact same spot. You can rest easy knowing this vibrant, exciting display is absolutely guaranteed to arrive nice and early every single year without fail.
We are getting very close now, folks. The guaranteed success of variety number 9, the one that absolutely never fails, is just 2 plants away. Hydrangea number 7 is Bobo. You might be wondering about the number 75. Well, 75 is actually its maximum height in centimeters. So for those of you with smaller gardens, courtyard spaces, or if you simply love growing in patio containers, Bobo is an absolute dream come true. It's a genuine dwarf variety, reaching just 75 centimeters to perhaps 1 meter tall at most. It grows beautifully in large pots. You just need to ensure it has good drainage, consistent watering, and a spot with plenty of sun to really encourage blooming. But the truly amazing thing about Bobo is its sheer, unrelenting flower power. It produces so many massive, creamy white to soft pink flowers that its strong, sturdy stems and lush green foliage are almost entirely hidden right beneath the blooms. It literally looks like a solid mound of flowers. You get all the absolute rock-solid reliability of the big cone-shaped paniculata varieties packed perfectly into a small, highly manageable space.
Bobo proves once and for all that you don't need a massive garden to enjoy the completely foolproof, spectacular beauty of a blooming hydrangea.
Our 8th hydrangea is Vanilla Strawberry. This variety is consistently rated among the absolute best for its truly spectacular, show-stopping color. It needs a good sunny spot to achieve its deepest, richest hues, and it loves a good late winter prune to build a sturdy framework capable of supporting its massive, heavy blooms. Now the panicles open a rich, pristine, creamy white, and then a deepening blush of pink begins right at the base of the flower and slowly, beautifully moves upward week by week. It creates this incredible, spectacular two-tone strawberry and cream effect before finally aging to a rich, vibrant red-pink by the time autumn arrives. It is truly visually striking, an absolute centerpiece for any garden border that you can count on year after year. It brings an elegance that is honestly hard to match, and it does so on completely reliable new wood. But the most foolproof variety of all is coming up next, the one experienced growers turn to when they want an absolute guarantee.
And so, here we are, the moment we have been building towards. The one single variety experienced growers turn to for an absolute, undeniable guarantee. The plant that really makes all those past disappointments a distant memory.
Hydrangea number 9, Phantom. The ultimate foolproof secret.
Now, I know that for many of you the name Phantom is going to be entirely unfamiliar. It doesn't usually sit proudly on the shelves of the big general garden centers. It's actually found in specialist nurseries, known almost entirely through quiet recommendations passed from one experienced gardener to another. Phantom is the magnificent combination of everything we've talked about today taken to its absolute maximum. It survives bitter winters of -30 degrees Celsius. It is highly drought tolerant once it's established in your garden. But just think about this panicle size, 40 to 50 centimeters, that is half a meter long. The flowers open a soft creamy white with a gentle green tinge and mature to a beautiful, elegant, antique pink. But the most remarkable fact about Phantom is this: the harder you prune it in late winter, the more spectacular it actually becomes. Experienced growers deliberately prune Phantom harder than any other hydrangea, specifically to force those enormous 50-centimeter flower panicles to emerge on robust new stems. For any of you who have ever been disappointed by a delicate hydrangea before, Phantom is the robust, magnificent variety that experienced growers turn to for a permanent, absolutely beautiful guarantee.
Now, to actually get these incredible results, we really need to talk about the pruning rule that changes everything. If you take away just one technique from this explainer today, please let it be this. For all these new wood hydrangeas we've discussed, I want you to feel completely empowered to hard prune them in late winter. Cut them right back to a permanent framework. I know, taking shears to a beloved plant feels terrifying, but I promise you, please do not be nervous. There is absolutely zero risk to your summer blooms. In fact, this hard pruning is exactly what encourages the most vigorous growth, the strongest stems, and the absolutely largest, most beautiful flowers. You can step into your garden with those secateurs and prune with total confidence, knowing you are setting the stage for a completely spectacular summer.
My friends, this explainer marks the end of hydrangea disappointment for you. The right variety, planted in the right spot, and pruned correctly, is going to bloom for you every single year without exception. You definitely deserve a guarantee after past disappointments, and now you have 9 of them to choose from. I'd really love to hear from you. Which of these 9 are you going to plant to finally reclaim your spring garden? And what other impossible plants have you given up on that might just need a second look? Please leave a comment below. I read every single one of them. And don't forget to like and subscribe so we can keep growing together. Happy gardening, and I'll see you next time.